Hi, this is Marcela, and I'm excited to be here with Apu Gupta from Curalate. And we were discussing about how to create a strong presence on Pinterest. And I was surprised at Apu's answer about not pushing content, but let me have you tell us about it.
Sure. So, I think one of the big challenges that we see on on Pinterest, is that a lot of social marketers have sort of think about the world through the lens of Facebook. And Facebook sort of taught a lot of social marketers to push content out and then to see what people respond to. And I think the challenge with that is on Pinterest and Instagram, for example, the vast majority of consumer engagement is initiated by the consumer itself. It has nothing to do with what the brands are pushing out. It's consumers themselves saying, this is the stuff I care about. And so the key thing that brands have to start to realize on these new networks is that the old way of thinking about just pushing content out, that doesn't work anymore. You now have to become a really good observer. You have to start looking at what it is that consumers want to talk about and then start creating content around that.
And how do you do that? How do you observe?
So, look, a lot of the, there's some great analytics, platforms. Pinterest has their own analytics, tools as well. There are a number of things that you can look towards now that can give you insights into what it is that consumers are organically engaging with. And I think once you can get that better sense of what it is that your consumer cares about, it makes you so much smarter about what is topical right now. It's no longer about the brand. It's no longer about what, if you're a major brand that makes jeans and sweaters and a whole bunch of, it's not about that the consumer wanting to engage with the brand. It's about the specific products that consumer wants to engage with, and you starting to understand that when consumers come to you, they talk to you about sweaters. And how do I then create more conversations around sweaters?
And can you give us an example of that in action?
Yeah, so there's this wonderful example that we see both in terms of listening to the consumer and growing engagement and growing an audience and rewarding an audience, and that's with Neiman Marcus. So Neiman Marcus works with Curalate, and they wanted to sort of think through this idea that, we know that we have an audience on Facebook, we know we have an audience on Instagram, and we have this growing audience on Pinterest. And these audiences respond differently, and we want to reward these audiences for following us here on Pinterest uniquely. And so they have a partnership with Rebecca Minkoff, the handbag company, and they got an exclusive to a Rebecca Minkoff bag for 2 weeks. And they exclusively launched that bag on Pinterest. They created unique content for that bag, only published it on Pinterest, and you could pre-order that bag by clicking through on that picture, and it would take you to a secret place on the website, on the Neiman Marcus website, that you could not search for. You couldn't get there any other way except via Pinterest. And they rewarded their followers for their loyalty and for following them there, and they sold a bunch of handbags as a result. It was a really cool way to reward an audience and create content at the same time.
Now, you had a quote in the session that really blew my mind. You were talking about control and brands. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so the question that was asked to me was, what do you do on visual platforms when people start talking about your brand, in a negative way? What if somebody posts a photo about something they didn't like, about your brand? And I said, look, the reality about social is it's about losing control. And for brands that think that they can rule social as a totalitarian state, they have a lot of learning to do, because the reality of it is social is about engagement. Social is about people, and you cannot tell people what to do. So the sooner you start to realize that as a brand, the sooner you start to become a more human brand.
Apu, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Where can people find you online?
We're Curalate everywhere. So we're Curalate.com, Curalate on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, of course. And I'm Apu Gupta. My Twitter handle is Apu Gupta. Thank you so much.